you're inferior. You know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams.
And now, Mike's Thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, I gotta get this off my chest right now. The NFL is about to go softer than it already is. The NFL is about to go completely soft on everybody in this NFL world. Roger Goodell just announced that he's not only that they announced the National Flag Football Association after the 2028 Olympics, but they're planning to launch a professional men's and women's flag football leagues in the next couple years. That's right. The National Football League is slowly turning into the National Flag League. And look, I get it. I understand the marketing. I understand the push to attract younger fans, to get more kids involved, to make the game, quote, safe. But let's be honest here. Football is not supposed to be safe. Football is about grit. Football is about contact. Football is about hitting, blood, sweat, and pain. It's about Sunday battles in the trenches. It's about dodging tags at you like you're at recess. Roger Goodell is out here saying the demand is there. College and international programs want in. Of course they do. Because it's easy, it's flashy, and you don't have to worry about lawsuits when nobody's getting tackled. But fans aren't lining up for this. You think people are paying NFL ticket prices to go watch a bunch of dudes running around with flags on their hips? Come on now, slow it down, baby. This isn't football. This is branding. This is corporate packaging, and the league keeps leaning into it. The NFL we grew up with, the game we love, the game that's built legends, it's going to get watered down into some sanitized version of itself. So yeah, NFL fans, enjoy it while it lasts. Folks, because Roger Goodell gets his way, the National Football League won't be anymore. It's all about the National Flag League at the end of the day. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman. Everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckeye Show, the Man Hour Show, the manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page and check out the blogs as well, guys. But welcome to Man Hour NFL Talk, your go-to spot for live, raw, uncut NFL talk. I'm so glad you're rolling with us today. You guys, be sure to hit the like button, hit the share button, and also subscribe down below to make sure you never miss a live, interactive show. That is the easiest way to stay plugged into us all season long. But if you want the full experience, of the Man Hour Nation, guys, become a Pigskin Pundit. That is our members-only community where you get free entry into weekly NFL pick'ems, giveaways, exclusive merchandise, and bonus live streams that only the Pigskin Pundits get. So if you're all about that next level of access, guys, join the squad today. Now remember, this is a live. This is an interactive show, guys, so drop your thoughts, drop your opinions, and drop your hottest of the hottest takes in the comments down below. I want to hear from you. Let's hear you. But if you're good carried away, guys, let's get into the comments, see what people are talking about. My man Alpha Rob's in the chat today as well.
Football.
Coach Rowe, you're not ready yet, buds. Calm down. Alpha Rob says nobody wants to see flag football or women playing football. Guy cheerleaders, what the hell is going on? Alpha Rob, let's just be totally honest. We knew flag football professional league was coming. We knew this was coming. The minute it became an Olympic sport, which is 2028 and 3 years away, we knew this was going to happen. And honestly, I'm honestly quite surprised it took this long to actually get a professional league rolling, right? Because if you guys turn on ESPN any June, any July, hell, going into August, there is that 7-on-7 league. It is a bunch of 15, 16, 17-year-old kids out there playing 7-on-7 flag football, and it's must-see TV for those 15,000 people that are watching. Just like it is what it is. Now, however, women's flag football, Alpha Rob, you want to see women get pissed off? Watch any type of women's competitive sport. Soccer, flag football, basketball, volleyball, any type of women's sport. Ooh, baby. It doesn't matter if a team has not won in 18 years. But you put a girl or a women's sport out there against other women, I don't know what it is, but women go head to head and they are out there to murk people. Women's flag football, I'm all about it. I am all about it because I've actually watched a couple of high school here in like Indiana. Flag football is now an official sport. It is official recognized sport. So there are a lot of really good women out there playing flag football here in like Indiana. So it's definitely going to go get bigger and bigger and bigger at some point. George Lucas is in the chat today as well. It says, good evening, my friends. What is up, George Lucas? George Lucas, remind me who your team is again. Was it the Las Vegas Raiders or I cannot remember, but welcome back, man. Welcome back. And Wes is in the chat today as well. What is up, Wes? He says, women players, hold up, Rob. Hold up. Listen, women, my wife was a collegiate volleyball player. And we went to go play sand volleyball, just to pick up sand volleyball game. A couple buddies of mine from my indoor football team's like, hey, we need a guy, we need a girl. Can you come sub in for us, right? So I'm taking it just like softball. You know, I'm drinking a couple brewskis, throwing it back, and my wife's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, we're just gonna go have fun. She's like, "No, you need to lock in." You need to lock in. We about to roll these bitches. I was like, whoa, Gabe, slow it down, baby. Needless to say, that competitive spirit came out in Cindy, and I will tell you what. She was on my ass for 3 sets. She's like, spike that motherfucker. Get it. And like Alpha Rob says, whoa, depends on their outfits. If it's like the, was it the lingerie football league? Alpha Rob's all for it, right? Wes says they got some skills. They do got some skills, baby. They do got some skills. Women volleyball, I like. I like women's volleyball more than men's volleyball. Men's volleyball just kind of irritates me like a little bit, but it is what it is. George Lucas says he likes the Jets. Well, lucky for you, George Lucas, we're not dogging the Jets today. However, we do got a little thing called Contenders and Pretenders here on this Thursday edition of Man Hour NFL Talk, guys. I got 3 teams that we are going to determine if they are true contenders or if they are pretenders. So, guys, buckle up because I'm going to call it how it is. No sugarcoating, no hype trains, simply just the truth. Who is real and who's getting exposed? Guys, let's get into the first segment of today's show, and that is the contenders and the pretenders. And we got to start right there off the top of the dome, and that is the Denver Broncos. Guys, because when you look at the Denver Broncos, they walked into the season with lofty expectations. After ending their playoff drought last year, many believe this was the year that the Broncos could push towards the AFC upper echelon, right? But so far, the script has been a little bit messy. So far, Bo Nix in his second year is finding out just how difficult it is to be an NFL quarterback and when he's underneath the microscope. Opponents have had a full season to dissect this tape. His weaknesses are showing. Meanwhile, the running backs are, they're still averaging 100 yards per game, while the veteran additions on offense haven't delivered quite in the expectation turn on reinvestment. There's still some upside if you're a Denver Broncos fan. Their defense, which was elite, top 3 scoring defense, first in sacks, first in defense in EPA in 2024, has consistently shown that form is swindling and being volatile. They're not very good right now, AKA. And we cannot ignore what is biting them in the butt as well. The Broncos lead the NFL in offensive penalties. They have been plagued by self-inflicted wounds week after week after week. So guys, when you look at the Denver Broncos, I'm going to give you some points of how why you would think they are pretenders or they're actually contenders. And we have to start with the red flags, right? That stuff that suggests that the Denver Broncos is pretending to be a contender when they're not quite there yet. They have had epic fourth quarter collapses. They've blown late leads against the Colts and the Chargers. One of the biggest critiques from ESPN that Denver is inability to close out a glaring trend. They need to close out damn football games, period. The defense is terrible. The defense looked elite during week 1 versus the Tennessee Titans, but who hasn't looked elite versus the Tennessee Titans? They give up big plays and lapses and losses. They give up turnovers. They turn the ball over time and time again, and they got big mistakes from Bo Nix. Now, he has had moments, but he is also showing growth pains. Earlier in his rookie season, last season, he had career high, right? He had career highs, this. Yes, I know it's a rookie, but, he was playing top level. Well, guess what? So far this year, he has a career high as well. 3 interceptions in 1 game. And turnovers have haunted them week after week after week. And the offense has been consistently inefficient. The Broncos are converting just 32.4% of their third downs. That's 27th in the league. And when you're going 3 and out more often than you'd expect, you are in some serious troubles. Now, over their last 20 regular season games, the Denver Broncos have gone 2-8 in 1-score games. That tells you all I need to know right there. Their mental edge in tight moments sucks. Guys, if you want a team to be a contender, you do not lose games like that. Competitively 2-8 in 1-score games, that is tough, baby. But there is the other side of the coin. And yes, there is the but. Denver can't be dismissed quite yet because they still have pieces and, most importantly, time. Their track record and resilient is still there. Last year, they started 0-2, and they still made the playoffs. Granted, it was help from the Kansas City Chiefs, but they still made the playoffs. That shows that there's fight built into this roster. And let's just be honest. Their schedule gets a hell of a lot easier. Yes, week 5, they do play the Philadelphia Eagles, but then they draw the New York Jets and London. Then they play the Giants, and then they play the Cowboys and Texans and the Raiders all in succession. Only one potential winning team on that schedule moving forward. And then there's potential upgrade for defense. Yes, their defense is, quote, top tier right now. Projection of their 2025 ceiling at 11-6 on the floor at 6-11. This defense is still being the biggest wild card. Head coach Sean Payton continues to back Bo Nix publicly, telling him, just keep firing, buddy. Despite the early struggles, despite the interceptions, keep firing the ball. You're going to fill it out eventually. Even with their flaws, they did just beat the Bengals squad. Yes, they're decimated without Joe Burrow, but their defense showed flashes when it can still beat, a.k.a. shutting down Jamar Chase. So yes, they have enough talent to breathing in that room. If they tighten up, this thing can flip. But here is my take about the Denver Broncos. Right now, guys, the Denver Broncos are pure pretenders. Their play doesn't match the hype. Losing 2 close games, making mistakes, lack of consistency where it matters. They're not done yet. They're not broken yet. If they can stabilize this defense, if they can reduce the mental errors, let Bo Nix grow back into his role and take advantage of the softer schedule, they can absolutely, quote, re-enter in the contender label. But right now, guys, the Denver Broncos are the biggest pretenders. They're overrated. They're overhyped. So stop all this nonsense of winning the AFC West. Stop all this nonsense going back to the playoffs and beating whoever. Stop all this nonsense of Super Bowl contenders. They're not there. They weren't there last year. They won't be there this year, and they won't be there the following year. Guys, the Denver Broncos are trash. But let me ask you guys this. Are the Denver Broncos the sleepy contender ready to wake up? Or are they fooling us as pretenders? Guys, drop your takes in the chat. Let me know what you see. Who's riding with the Broncos or who is hopping off the train? Guys, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and that bell icon to make sure you are here every time we go live right here at youtube.com/manhour. Now let's dive into your comments and see what you guys are considering. Because right off the bat, George Lucas says Denver is not contenders. George Lucas knows all about not being contenders with the New York Football Jets. George Lucas knows what a good team looks like and not the New York Football Jets. Shade? Yes, my bad, George Lucas. But the truth of the matter is, guys, many people out there are buying this Denver Broncos hype based off last year's defense. He had an easy-ass schedule last year, let's just be honest. And this year does get a little easier, but right now, when you're playing top teams, when you're playing the Bengals, when you're playing the Raiders and the Chiefs and the Colts, right? No room for error. No room for error. And Alpha Rob says, let me be clear as day as this. Let me be clear as day with this. Pretenders, pretenders, pretenders. Alpha Rob, say it again for the people in the back. The Denver Broncos are pretenders. You hear that, Peyton? You hear that, jack off Mark? You guys hear that? The Denver Broncos are pretenders. How much more clear can we make it? Now, on the flip side, let's head up north and let's talk about the one and only Minnesota Vikings. Guys, welcome back to the contender or pretender. Remember, we shift through the smoke, dig through the injuries and matchup and ask if his team is playoff caliber or just pretending to be. Let's turn our spotlight onto the Minnesota Vikings, guys. If you are a Minnesota Vikings fan, your heart has been in your throat lately. Why? Because your starting quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, has been missing the last 2 games, including Sunday's nail-biter 24-21 loss in Pittsburgh and Dublin. The early reports are still a high ankle sprain, could cost J.J. McCarthy a couple more weeks. Head coach Kevin O'Connell still remains vague. Day to day, we'll see where he's at. Little in the way of a firm timeline. So here are we, guys. Can the Minnesota Vikings weather the storm with backup quarterbacks, Carson Wentz and whoever else they might bring in? Because let's be honest, Carson Wentz isn't it right now. Or is this the beginning of the breakdown? Guys, let's start with we already working against the Minnesota Vikings. They got Cleveland this week and London and then a bye. That gives them a little bit more breathing room before their meat of the schedule. But after the bye, things get brutal, things get real. You play the Philadelphia Eagles, you play the LA Chargers, Detroit Lions, and then the Baltimore Ravens. That is a gauntlet for any team, let alone one missing his presumed leader at quarterback. Now, J.J. McCarthy should be back at that particular time, but there's going to be rust, there's going to be a little bit of growing pains, and when you get hit by the Philadelphia Eagles, you may not last that game. No matter how creative the defense is, led by Brian Flores, gets or how resourceful the Vikings have been working with backup options under Kevin O'Connell's system, this stretch is no joke. And it's just not the quarterback position under pressure either. The offensive line has a mess of injuries. Brian O'Neill went down with the sprained MCL. To be determined how long he is out. Ryan Kelly is in concussion protocol. Donovan Jackson, left guard, is still dealing with the wrist recovery and has been unavailable. That means J.J. McCarthy, whoever's under center, will be under pressure from the jump. ESPN reports that J.J. McCarthy was already seeing heavy pressure in the 2 games before the injury, a.k.a. the offensive line sucks. One stat that jumped off the screen at me when researching the Minnesota Vikings is the Minnesota Vikings get sacked on 14% of their pass plays. So 14% of their pass plays, they are getting sacked. Guys, that is dead last in the NFL. Matter of fact, that is historical bad. In the last 20 years, no team has broken 10%. The Vikings are at 14%. When protection breaks down, even a top-tier quarterback gets exposed, and right now the offensive line is going through trial by fire. Given all that, here are the red flags saying that Minnesota might be more than pretenders and contenders right now. Obviously, the uncertainty at quarterback with the J.J. McCarthy and then the Sam Darnold, Carson Wentz, like this is all limbo. This is dangerous when the schedule tightens up. Now, we've all heard the Kevin O'Connell system, any quarterback, yada, yada, yada. But the truth be told is right now, J.J. McCarthy is not very good. Carson Wentz is not very good. I see the Minnesota Vikings fans right now wishing they had Sam Darnold in their landscapes right now. But the truth of the fact is the offensive line is unstable. Losing key linemen means their passing game is going to be inconsistent. Stacks will mount, rhythm will suffer. And then post-bye gauntlet, Eagles, Chargers, Lions, Ravens, it doesn't forgive for mistakes, especially without your starter. The Vikings are banking on their system and their coaching to max talent gaps, a.k.a. Carson Wentz is not very good. But in the postseason, that usually isn't enough. Even if they slip during that stretch, it could be still collapse, but hopeful beginnings of the end. But before we bury the Minnesota Vikings like I did last season, guys, let's acknowledge the reason why they still deserve the benefit of the doubt. Under Kevin O'Connell, he signaled his trust in his backup to handle the pressure, and that will keep the ship afloat until J.J. McCarthy returns. The schedule gives up a moment, right? This London game, then their bye, gives the Minnesota Vikings time to regroup, manage their recovery, and recalibrate before be facing tough in that tough stretch. Defense and coaching does matter. Brian Flores can scheme up pressure, disguise coverages, and force turnovers and take some heat off that offense. The Vikings can stay in the games while the quarterback situation sorts itself out. Guys, Brian Flores is a really, really good coach. He's a really good defensive coordinator. Let's just say that. What was that? That was weird. Guys, but here is where I land. Right now, the Minnesota Vikings look like pretenders. The injuries are piling up, the schedule is vicious, and the quarterback situation is shaky at best, even with J.J. McCarthy at the helm. I'm not closing the door quite yet. They have some tools, they have the coaching and the framework to turn this into a comeback story. But if J.J. McCarthy returns and he's not ready, they are done. I said this last year and I'll say it again. The Vikings overachieved last year, and this overachievement is coming to bite them in the ass right now. But what do you guys think, Man Hour Nation? Are the Vikings in survival mode right now, creeping their way back into the contender status, or are they just making gaps until something else breaks? Guys, let me know in the comments down below. Who's riding with Minnesota, or who is else looking elsewhere? Hit the subscribe button, guys. Hit that bell and share this live, as we're live every Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. With that being said, let's jump into the comments and see what you guys are talking about. George Lucas says J.J. McCarthy is trash. Well, he actually says QB is trash. So that could be Carson Wentz. That could be J.J. McCarthy. That could be them trading for Russell Wilson or Kirk Cousins or Jameis Winston. Like, whoever the quarterback is, he's trash. Which is tough. Because, like, Carson Wentz had such a good MVP run there, and then he tore his ACL or whatever it was the year the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, and it sucks for Carson Wentz. But J.J. McCarthy, I think, is trash. J.J. McCarthy, I think, is overrated. J.J. McCarthy is going to be the biggest what-ifs of all time, I think, right? Actually, no. He is going to be a bust. At this point, put Desmond Ridder in and call it a day. Desmond Ridder can at least give the ball to Jordan Addison or Jetta or Naylor or a little bit of T.J. Hawkinson, right? Or just give the ball off to old Aaron Jones. Actually, no. Aaron Jones is on the IR now, right? Jordan Mason. Give it to him. Give it to him, give it to him, give it to him. Alpha Rob says they are pretenders. Good wide receivers, no quarterback. Alpha Rob, you were here when the Minnesota Vikings fans last season came at my neck. You were here last year where I said the Vikings will be one and done in the playoffs after they, won 13, 14 games in a row, and they were balling there. And I said, look, you guys got cracks. You have receivers, and that's about it. Yes, the defense was a bend, don't break defense. Keep everything in front, whatever, yada, yada, yada. I get it. But when you look at the Minnesota Vikings offense right now, it's Aaron Jones being on IR, J.J. McCarthy doubtful till after the bye week, Jetta and Jordan Addison and Adam Thielen are your only weapons. Jordan Mason had a pretty good season last year, like a little bit, right? I mean, he wasn't jumping off the screen by any stretch of the imagination, but it is tough if you're a Minnesota Vikings fan because I got to say they are pretenders. Right now, I got to say they are pretenders 100%. I am with you guys. Now, welcome back, guys, to the Contenders for Printers. We cut through the hype and asked a hard question. Is this team for real, or are they just playing pretend? And tonight, we're turning our attention to the New England Patriots underneath newly head coach Mike Vrabel. A lot is riding on this era. After years of mediocrity, the expectation is a reset. The question is happening right now. Are the Patriots contenders or pretenders? Guys, first things first, you want to see early in the new coaching regime is what the Patriots are doing right now. Drake May has been efficient. Through the first 4 games, he has completed 74% of his passes, 7 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions. That's an excellent ratio so far. That is very, very nice if you are a New England Patriots fan. Matter of fact, in week 4, they blew out the Carolina Panthers, 42-13. May looked sharp, 14 for 17, 203 yards, 2 tutties, and he had a rushing touchdown as well. They earned wins over comparable teams as well. 33-27 win over Miami in Miami back in week 2. And that lopsided beatdown of Carolina, they show they can walk into the games and win. Under Mike Vrabel, there's visible energy shift. The locker room feels different, expectations feel higher, and there's a real discipline that is beginning to show. So yes, the Patriots look ready and better than they have the last couple years. There is a pulse, but hold on one second. Slow it down, baby. The realization of a full turnaround doesn't happen overnight, especially in the stacked conference like the AFC. Here's why I'm hesitant to call the New England Patriots contenders right now. Simply put, they have a lack of talent. They have a lack of elite talent. The Patriots don't have the roster firepower to consistently overpower top-tier teams. They're decent, but not dominant. They have really no good depth receiver. Yes, Stephon Diggs finally broke the 100-yard mark after 22 games, but you know what? He's still not the man to lift the myth, the legend. And they got a stacked path ahead. The AFC is simply packed, guys. They got the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs. You can throw in the Denver Broncos. You can throw in the Jaguars, the Colts, the Chargers. All squads that can run off your schedule and exploit weaknesses if you slip up one time. Their margin for error is very, very thin. New England needs to be nearly perfect execution to compete with these elite squads. Any mistakes, any injuries, or breakdowns, and the gas will show and they'll get blown out quickly. And Drake May's growing pains have been evident. Despite his efficiency, there are still question marks around Drake May. In week 1 versus the Las Vegas Raiders, May went 30 for 46, 287 yards for 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Also took 4 sacks. That's not awful, but it's also a reminder of how much tougher the season is when a second-year quarterback finds his little bit of drought. We've seen flashes, but consistency against the big dogs is where contenders prove themselves. Here's where I'm landing for the New England Patriots right now. The Patriots are still pretenders. They got upside. They're not bluffing, but they're not fully there yet. In a couple years, guys, the Patriots will be true contenders yet again. They're showing signs in the right direction, especially through Drake May's play and the internal energy, but they need more. They need more roster upgrades. They need more consistency and more big game execution. If Drake May keeps ascending, if Vrabel establishes a fortress defense, and that they avoid injuries, this team can shift from pretenders to contenders. But right now, they are pretenders. So, guys, the verdict for tonight, the Patriots are pretenders with promise. A little bit of asterisk by the #waffle. They're not fooling anyone. There's real progress, but the contender label is premature, much like Wes's sex life. Very premature. Ejaculation. Now I want to hear from you guys. Patriots fans, NFL fans in general. Are you buying into the new regime, or do you still see holes too big to ignore? Drop your takes in the chat. Contender or pretender for the New England Patriots right now. Hit the subscribe button, guys. Hit the bell icon. If you watch us on YouTube, guys, hit the hype button as well. Let's light up the live chat. Who's riding with the Patriots through Vrabel's rebuild, or who's waiting to see more before committing? Let me know. Alpha Rob says they are pretenders. They are not there yet. Alpha Rob's saying you still got the Buffalo Bills in the AFC East. Hell, you still got the New York Jets in the AFC East. The Patriots are still a third-place team, says Alpha Rob. Are you saying that, Alpha Rob, or am I just putting words into your mouth? Because I still see the Patriots as a third-place team. I think the Jets can get hot still. I think the Jets can, roll off 3 or 4 wins in a row, drop a couple, 3 or 4 wins in a row, drop a couple, and they might be a 9-win team still. Miami Dolphins, done, trash. Patriots, 7, 8-win team tops. I'm still sticking with them. Says, whoa. Alpha Rob says, whoa. Dig had more than 20 yards? Yeah, he had like 102 yards, wasn't it? 101 yards. He decided to catch the ball, Alpha Rob. He decided to, I mean, he's got to earn that 3-year, some odd $1 million contract that he got. Coming off of ACL, the Patriots are like, hey, here's 3 years, here's $1 million. George Lucas says they're not ready yet. They are pretenders. George Lucas, you and Alpha Rob are both AFC East guys. You guys got the Jets, you got the Bills, you got the Patriots, and you got the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, right? What in your guys' eyes will put the Patriots up into that contender list? Is it making a trade for somebody like, I don't know, A.J. Brown? Is it making a trade for somebody like Jalen Waddle from Miami? Is it receiver issues? Is it running back issues? Do you not trust Drake May? I feel like Drake May gets a lot of just glossed over looks like, hey, you know what? Like, he's just doing his thing. It is what it is. He's not great. He's not bad. He's just doing his like thing. But Alpha Rob says they're a second place team, meaning the New England Patriots. They're better than the Jets. They're better than the Dolphins. They're not better than the Buffalo Bills. Let's just be clear about that. But Alpha Rob says they're a second place team. Alpha Rob, I kind of concur. It's kind of a toss-up between the Jets and the Patriots of first one to eight wins gets to second place, I think. Second place. But guys, it is time for a little thing we have to call panic or patience. Panic or patience, guys. Let's switch gears and dive into the panic or patience segment of today's show. Here's how it works. I'm going to throw out a situation or a scenario that's happening right now in the NFL world. And it's us up to decide, should we be hitting the panic button or do we just slow it down, baby? Show a little patience. If it's time to hit the panic, we'll say, okay, things are not looking good. We just start freaking out a little bit and like, where everything seems to start spinning out of control. But if we think it's time to relax, if it's time to be patient, take a deep breath, let's play it out situation, then we'll go with patience. We'll remind ourselves that sometimes it takes time. We will remind ourselves not every bump in the road is the end of the world. So are we jumping on the ledge or are we sticking it out, trusting the process? Let's find out if we need to panic or should we just keep our cool and be patient. Guys, panic or patience right here on Man Hour NFL Talk. All right, guys, so it is time for one of my favorite segments of this week. It's panic or patience. And tonight, guys, we're talking about the Cincinnati Bengals. Let me set the stage for you a little bit, right? The Cincinnati Bengals have lost 2 straight games. Both losses been on the road, yes, against the Minnesota Vikings and the Denver Broncos, both teams we just called pretenders. And here's a little tough pill to swallow. Both losses came with backup quarterbacks as well, Jake Browning. That's not what contenders do, obviously. But since Joe Burrow went down in week 2 against the Jacksonville Jaguars, it's been the Jake Browning taking the controls. And while Browning has had flashes, this offense clearly isn't the same without Joe Burrow. Now, the rumor mill is hitting up. Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, even Kirk Cousins are all being floated around as potential trade targets for the Cincinnati Bengals. So here's the question, guys. It is simple. Should the Cincinnati Bengals stay patient and ride things out with Jake Browning, or should they panic and make a move and make a trade for one of these veteran quarterbacks? Guys, let's just be honest. The Cincinnati Bengals roster is built to win right now. You got Jamar Chase, you got T. Higgins stretching the field, and second year back, Chase Brown is starting to emerge as an elite lead runner. The defense is talented, the core is still intact, and the AFC is a battlefield, And if you fall behind, there's very little chance for you to catch up, right? Bengals, we learned that last year. Now, Russell Wilson may not quite be vintage Russ, but he is experienced and he can stabilize any offense. Jameis Winston, high risk, high reward. But at least he pushes the ball down the field. And Kirk Cousins, if healthy, might be the best short-term option of all. A move like that could keep Cincinnati Bengals until Joe Burrow hears up. Now, if you are on the patience side, here is why patience actually might be a smart answer. One, trading for a quarterback midseason isn't cheap. Yes, these are veterans, but let's just be honest. They're going to want a third or potentially a fourth round pick. You are giving up picks or young talent for what could be nothing more than a rental. Two, Jake Browning has been efficient at times, completing over 65% of his passes. The real issue has been execution in crunch time. That's something coaching can clean up. And three, let's not forget, Joe Burrow's injury isn't season ending. Reports say he can return later this season, aka after Thanksgiving. If that's the case, do we really blow up your draft capital for 6 to 8 weeks of a Band-Aid quarterback? Probably not. We've seen the Bengals start slow before. 0-2 last year, 0-2 the year before that, 0-2 before the year before that, 0-2 before the year before that, and 0-2 before the year before that. People are already burying them, and they still make a playoff push year after year after year. Somehow they know how to claw back. So, guys, I am saying be patient. Cincinnati Bengals, be patient. Ride with Jake Browning. Lean on Chase Brown in the run game. Trust that defense and hold the line until Joe Burrow comes back. If he were done for the season, sure, panic makes sense. But as long as QB1 is expected back, do not mortgage your future for a short-term fix because you still have Trey Henderson to take care of. But that's my call. But what do you guys think, Man Hour Nation? Should the Bengals panic and make a trade or stay patient and trust that Joe Burrow will return in time to save the season? Drop your takes below. This is a live, interactive show, guys. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button. Smash the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time right here at youtube.com/Man Hour. Now let's dive into the comments. Gopinator is from India, and he's in the chat. What's up, man? What's up? Alpha Rob says, panic. Trade for Kirk Cousins now. Alpha Rob says the Bengals can win the Super Bowl right now. The Bengals can make a deep playoff run right now if they trade for Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins will keep them afloat. Kirk Cousins will be the man, the myth, the legend. Kirk Cousins can lead them to the promised land. Alpha Rob, let me ask you this. What would you give up for Kirk Cousins? Because obviously, you're going to have to take on his huge contract. I'm not for sure how the guaranteed money works with the trade thing. I don't know if the Falcons still got to eat that or if the Bengals are going to eat that. But I'm not for sure if they can afford it. Whether it be in draft capital, whether it actually be in salary cap. Because if you look at the Bengals schedule, this week they played the Detroit Lions. Arguably a top team in the NFC. Then you play the Green Bay Packers. Highly overrated, Shay. The Packers suck. Then they play the Steelers. Pretty damn good. Let's just be honest. And then they play the Jets. To be determined. Bears, trash. Steelers, pretty good. Patriots, we called them pretenders. Ravens, not very good. And then you play the Bills, Ravens, Dolphins, Cardinals, Browns to end the season. So, theoretically, Joe Burrow is supposed to come back early December. The last game of November on Thursday Night Football, you play the Baltimore Ravens. I believe that's Thanksgiving Day. Then you got your 10 days off, and then you play the Buffalo Bills. Do you think Kirk Cousins can beat, let's say this trade happens against the Pittsburgh Steelers? May not play, whatever. Can he beat the Jets, Bears, Steelers, Patriots, Ravens, those 4 games? Probably not. I just do not see why a trade would make sense. And it looks like my camera froze, guys. That is my mistake. But I need to buy a new one. George Lucas said we simply need to be patient. We need to be patient. We need to slow it down, baby. And I think you're right. George Lucas. We need to be patient. Patience is a virtue as of right now. Guys, bear with me as I try to fix the camera. Maybe I just got to restart it. I'm not for sure. We'll deactivate it. Activate it again. Bada bing, bada boom. No, we're still in the same boat. That's on me, guys. My apologies. But George Lucas, I am with you. Alpha Rob says Browning has showed nothing so far. And you're right, Alpha Rob. He has not shown nothing so far. However, flashback a couple years ago. When Joe Burrow went out, was it 2023? I think. 2023, he goes out. And bada bing, bada boom, Jake Browning is a 500 quarterback. Actually, I think he was 3-4, maybe 4-5. With that being said, if Jake Browning can just be 500, that's all we're asking for is be 500 for the rest of the season. You're not going to beat the Lions. You're not going to beat the Packers. You can battle the Steelers because it's a divisional game. You can probably beat the Jets. You can beat the Bears. So if you can split with the Steelers, there's one. Beat the Jets and Bears, there's 3 wins. Losing to the Lions, Packers, Steelers, there's 3 losses. Beat the Patriots, that puts you above 500. And that's all the Bengals need. Is just to be 500. And Jake Browning can lead them to a 500, I do believe. Oh, man, Rivers in the chat says, what'd I miss?
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
You missed Contenders and Pretenders. Raiders are Pretenders. Wes says, go get Shadur Sanders. Let him sling it, baby. Wes, the Browns are going to want at least a 4th-round pick for Shadur Sanders. Let's just be honest. He's going to want a 4th-round pick at minimum probably for Shadur Sanders. Why? Just because of the principle of the matter. For 2, it's a divisional trade. Not, very, very unlikely it is going to happen. 3, why would I want to risk a rookie quarterback when I can go get out a proven veteran if I'm going to go make a trade? Shadur Sanders to the Bengals just doesn't make sense. Go lay down, put yourself in timeout, Wes, and think about what you just said. Because that is a bad juju mix there, buddy. Not going to happen. Alpha Rob says, are they not in playoff? Are they not in playoff competition if Joe Burrow comes back? Joe Burrow is expected to come back around late November, early December. We said it right here on the Man Hour. Week 2 of the NFL season, it was week 3 of the NFL season when Joe Burrow went down. If the Bengals are 500, when Joe Burrow comes back, he's definitely playing this season. He can beat the Ravens, Dolphins, Cardinals, and Browns to end the season and get a nice little 4 or 5 game win streak heading into the playoffs. Wes said the video isn't moving. Yeah, I think my camera broke again. I need to go out and buy a new camera. I've been putting it off, and I think it's finally bit the dust. And all members says someone's constipated. I'm not constipated. I took a nice little poop earlier, bud. Come on, man. But yeah, my camera has definitely bit the dust, so I'm going to try to order one tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. But guys, next up on the Panic or Patience here of Man Hour NFL Talk Thursday edition, guys, we're going to roll into another round of Panic or Patience, and this one hits the Washington hard. News just broke that Scary Terry has been ruled out this week again versus the Los Angeles Chargers. And it's just not him. It's wideout Noah Brown is also out, still dealing with that growing knee injury. This means Jaden Daniels, fresh off missing 2 games with that sprained knee, is going back under center without his top 2 receiving options on his team. Scary Terry's injury, it's that lingering quad he hurt diving into the end zone on a 56-yard grab against the Raiders back in week 3. He missed the loss to the Falcons last week and now is sidelined yet again. Yeah, he was out there running half-speed sprints with the trainers, so maybe progress is coming, but let's call it what it is. The Commanders are hurting at wide receiver, plain and simple. So here's the question. Should the Washington Commanders panic and go after another wide receiver, or should they stay patient and trust that their guys will come back healthy? Guys, let's just be honest here. You cannot hang your second-year quarterback out to dry without his number one receiver. Scary Terry is the heartbeat of the offense. Without him, defense don't respect the deep ball the same way. Jaden Daniels doesn't get that security blanket he needs in crucial downs. Rest of the team, rest of the receivers, of course, they're solid, maybe a little flashy, but they're very inconsistent. Then the cupboard is starting to look thin, and if Noah Brown stays silent for an extended period of time, you are one rolled ankle from throwing practice squad guys into the fire. And think about the schedule as well. After the Cowboys, you got the Eagles, you got the Cowboys yet again, Seahawks on the horizon. You are not going to toe-to-toe with those defenses if the playmakers are on the sidelines. Making a move, whether signing a veteran off the street or pulling the trigger on a midseason trade, might what it means to keep this team in playoff conversations. But before we go start blowing up the roster, here's the counter. First off, Dan Quinn has already said Scary Terry and Brown are trending in the right direction. That doesn't sound like season-ending stuff by any stretch of the imagination, but if Terry's running sprints in week 5, maybe he's back by week 7. Second, Jaden Daniels is getting back from his injury himself. Maybe instead of forcing the passing game, you lead on the running game a little bit. Simplify the playbook, let Jaden Daniels work, and see what he's got until your stars return. And third, trades are not cheap. You'd have to give up draft capital for a rental ride out. Let's just be honest. And if Scary Terry is back in a couple weeks, suddenly you've overpaid for depth. Guys, it's simply put. Washington Commanders fans, you got to be patient. You need to be more worried about your defense than anything, but you got to be patient. Yes, it's brutal losing Scary Terry again. Yes, Jaden Daniels could use the help, but this is not season ending. It's not time to panic yet. Get through this stretch, let your second-year quarterback manage the offense, and when Terry returns, the passing game will open back up. But that's my take. What about you, Man Hour Nation? Should the Commanders panic or go shopping for another wideout? Or stay patient and let Scary Terry heal up? Hit the comments right now, guys. Let me hear what you think. And George Lucas says, go pick up Odell Beckham. Go pick up the man, the myth, the legend, Odell Beckham Jr. And you know what, George Lucas? That may not seem like a very bad idea. That may seem plausible, right? Because when you think of Odell Beckham Jr., he's on the sideline right now. He is on the sideline, and he's been wanting to play. He has been wanting to play, and we know that he still has a little something left in the a tank, right? You would think for a couple weeks, Odell Beckham Jr. would make perfect sense. To me, yes. Alfred says at least Vaughn isn't hurt. He is a difference maker. Alpha Rob is slowly implementing that clip on Von Miller week after week after week. Week after week, Von Miller is catching strays. And I love every minute of it. Pick up Odell Beckham Jr. George Lucas, that might be the best thing you said all night long. But guys, it is time for another round of panic or patience. And for the last one of the night, we're heading out to the desert with the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals guys just announced plans to build a brand new training facility set to open in 2028. It's a 25,000 square foot palace. That's the kind of thing that screams franchise stability. But when Kyler Murray was asked about it, he responded and raised eyebrows and said, well, it's beautiful. Hopefully I'm here to see it. Now, that sounds like a little bit like a joke, but when you look at the numbers on his deal and the team's current situation, this begs the question. Should the Cardinals panic and pay Kyler Murray right now or stay patient and see if he's truly the guy? Guys, let's start for the case with the panic. Let's start with the hard facts. Kyler Murray's contract runs through 2028. There's no guaranteed money past 2026. And in 2027, the dead cap hit drops to $7.2 million. And in 2028, Arizona could walk away scotch-free. saving a massive $46.4 million. That's a financial reality. Now, combine that with his on-field record since his extension. Kyler Murray is 16-24 as a starter, missing major time with the ACL tear, and the Cardinals offense has ranked near the bottom of the league. Right now, they're 28th in passing, 28th in total offense, and 22nd in points scored. And Murray himself has admitted that the offense takes too long to load. That's not exactly a franchise quarterback quote. Let's just be honest. So if you're Arizona, do you guys panic and lock him up for fresh guarantees now before this relationship gets shaky again? Or risk another soap opera like in 2022 when he scrubbed his Instagram and went toward the front office for a deal? But then there's a case to be patient. There's the other side of the coin. Guys, Kyler Murray is just 28. He is under contract through 2028. So there's no real immediate rush to throw money on the table. Paying him early could backfire if the inconsistency continues or the injuries pile up yet again. And let's not ignore the roster context. His two top running backs, James Conner and Trey Benson, are now both on IR. Marvin Harrison Jr. is still adjusting to the NFL season or speed, and the offensive line has been reshuffled multiple times. Those aren't all Kyler's problems, but it affects Kyler Murray. If you pay him now and the offense stays bottom 10, you tie yourself up financially to a quarterback you can't easily move off of. Just when the cap flexibility was finally opening up. So what is the call here, guys? For me, it is simple. You have to be patient. Kyler Murray has talent, but you do not panic and pay him like the Jacksonville Jaguars did Trevor Lawrence. He's already signed through 2028. Let him prove it. Let him show consistency and a consistent product, make the playoffs, and string wins together before you back that truck up again. The Cardinals have the leverage. Don't give it up. If Kyler proves he's the guy, then yeah, extend him. Keep him happy and make him the franchise of the new facility in 2028. But until then, slow it down, baby. Until then, Kyler Murray, win me a division. But what do you guys think, man, our nation? Should the Cardinals panic and pay Kyler Murray right now? Make him happy, or stay patient, let him earn it. Guys, drop your takes in the chat. I want to know what your ride with Kyler Murray long term, or if Arizona should start preparing for life after him now. Now, while you're here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, guys. Hit the like button, and remember, we're live Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. With that being said, Alpha Rob has said it best. Alpha Rob simply just said it best. Patient. Kyler Murray hasn't proven anything yet. Alpha Rob, you are 100% correct. Kyler Murray has been a below average quarterback his whole NFL career. Let's just be honest. He has been average, mediocre, whatever synonym you want to put in there. He has not lived up to the hype of Kyler freaking Murray. On the other hand, could anybody else in Arizona live up to the hype? I don't think Jonathan Gannon is the man. I don't think Jonathan Gannon is their go-to coach. I don't think Jonathan Gannon is the game changer that everybody makes him out to be. Because you guys flash back to what? Was it 2022? 2022? The Cardinals started off, was it 8-0, 9-0 or something to that effect? This was my first year doing man hour. I was still trying to find my groove a little bit, try to find the swag per se. And I was watching the Arizona Cardinals. And I was like, guys, this team is not very good. I sat here with like Beastie Combs. I think Hoffy was like with me. I think Wyatt was with us like as well. We had like that four-person panel. And I sat here and said, guys, the Cardinals are not very good. There's cracks in this team. They're not good. Combsy called me dumb. The chat was calling me dumb. Why is like, what are you smoking, that bong water and all that stuff? And then very next week, the Green Bay Packers come into town. I believe they call it Lambeau West, if I'm not mistaken. And they came in, they waxed that ass, baby. They said, bring that ass here, boy. And they beat it down. The Cardinals beat the crap out of the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals maybe won one game for the rest of the season, missed the playoffs, and I was like, told you so. Buck knows his ball, right? And then ever since then, they haven't been shit. And George Lucas says, slow it down, baby. Pump those brakes. He says those brake pads just got replaced, and you need to use them because the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray are not a match made in heaven. They've got 3 years to figure yourselves out, boys. And I agree. And Wes says, you know what? The Saints would gladly take Kyler Murray. Wes, you know all about mediocre ball down there in New Orleans, the Big Easy. You know all about being laid back, laid back. Was it T.I. with my top laid back, laid back? Spencer Rattler's better than Kyler Murray right now, Wes. You put Spencer Rattler on the Arizona Cardinals. I believe he's from Arizona, or at least that area. Kyler Murray is winning these games, beating the 49ers, beating the Seahawks. Might be 3-1. Kyler Murray on the Saints is still 0-4, but even worse stats than what they got now. Real ball talk with Willie Jack says, stay patient. Plot twist, maybe Kyler doesn't want to stay there long term. Well, real ball with Willie Jack. What's up, man? Long time no see. How are those Steelers, by the way? I told you so. What team out there would lose the services of a Kyler Murray? Who wants a 5'6" quarterback that can't see over the offensive line? Do the Carolina Panthers and the Cardinals make a trade? Hey, I'll give you 5'7" for 5'8". No, but Kyler Murray has a lot to prove. I think if Kyler Murray wants to be a long-term quarterback anywhere beyond the age of 32, because he's 28 right now, 29 I think it was. 3 years down the road, he'd be 32, 33 years oldish, whatever. If he wants to play beyond that point, he better figure out some mojo right now. Laura Johnson Henderson in the chat. What's up, Laura?
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
Guys, Laura is a Pigskin Pundit. That's our members-only community. If you guys want to join the members-only community, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. And Wes says, honestly, I love to get Will Levis, even though I'm a Louisville fan. Will Levis is not a stud, Wes. Will Levis is the definition of a musketeer quarterback. He shows you flashes of greatness. Like, oh, okay, I see that ball. I see that Superman throw. Okay, I see you, big boy. But then, legitimately, the very next play, he throws an interception directly to the defensive end and takes it a pick six versus the Green Bay Packers. There's a reason why Will Levis decided to have surgery on his injured shoulder this year. There's a reason why he's like, you know what, I'm done. Because Will Levis sees the writing on the wall. He's going to use his injury as his way out of Tennessee because Cam Ward's going to do his thing, yada, yada, yada. He didn't want to lose his starting job to a rookie, let's just be honest. We will never hear from Will Levis ever again. Sorry to say, but it is true. We will not hear from Will Levis ever again. We won't. Now, he might be like a Carson Wentz, where he's played on like 6 teams in six years as that journeyman backup. He might be a Geno Smith, like we never hear from him, and then all of a sudden he pops up as a starter for the Seattle Seahawks. And like, oh, okay. I mean, like I hope that for him. I hope he goes to the Kansas City Chiefs, or he goes to the Saints or somewhere and becomes a backup, a pliable backup. Couple years there, couple years there. Then he gets a shot. Like, I would love that for Will Levis, but I just do not see it. Wes says, Will Levis won some blank program. Just ask Cam Ward about the Titans team. Says they 100% ass. I'm going to keep 100 they ass. Laura Johnson says, going to have to catch replay. Missed the first half of the show. Laura, you as a Minnesota Vikings fan, you need to watch the first half of the show. Because, yeah, topic number two right here on the left side of your screen, it says the Vikings. Laura, the Vikings are trash. Guys, it's time for a little bit of factor crap. All right, folks, so the show is not over just yet. It is time to wrap things up with our favorite closer, fact or crap. Here's how it works. I'm going to throw out some so-called facts that are making around the NFL world. And together, we're going to figure out if it's a real deal, if it's nothing but hot garbage. We're cutting through the noise, breaking down the hype, and deciding if it's worth buying into. If it's a fact, we're calling it out. If it's crap, we're burying it. Guys, so buckle up, grab your snacks, locked in, because it's time to get real. The coaching hot seat, is it fact or is it a whole lot of crap? Let's find out, baby. All right, guys, so welcome back to Fact or Crap. As my camera phrases again, I don't know what's going on. But guys, welcome back to Fact or Crap. And tonight we turn our sights on a very pointed question. Guys, Fact or Crap, is Mike McDaniel on the hot seat? Guys, let me start with the number that you will remember. Under McDaniel, the Dolphins are just 3-14 in games against teams above 500. That is a rough baseline. 3 wins and 14 losses with teams that are above 500. Let that sink in. When the Dolphins face quality opponents, they rarely win. Matter of fact, they suck. Now, combine that with the current situation of 0-3 and start the 2025 season. Miami has just scored 56 points over 3 games, an average of 18.7 points per game. That's 25th in the league. While giving up 97. That's 32.3 points per game. That is last in the league. Those margins are brutal. This brings up to the fact side of this argument. That 3-14 record against teams above 500 looms large. If you're building a case that Mike McDaniel struggles when the stakes are at its highest, that is your foundation. Add in the poor start, media heat, fans chanting and calling for his hiring, and whispers being replenished play calling duties. The pressure is unmistakable. But let's pause for a second and acknowledge the counterbalance. Mike McDaniel does have contract security. He was extended to 2028, giving him financial protection even amidst the rough start. He also has his pedigree. First 2 seasons produced playoff berths, and his team often outperformed expectations versus weaker matchups. And the fact is that the Miami Dolphins are 25-12 against 500 or worse teams in his tenure, is frequently cited by his defenders. So here's where I land, guys. I think this is a fact. I think Mike McDaniel is on the hot seat. That 3-14 record versus better teams is a glaring vulnerability. And combining that with the faltering start this season, the warning signs are flashing. But here's where the nonsense starts. I don't believe his job is immediately doomed. He still stands wholesome runaway thanks to his extension and owner support. But if Miami can pull together a couple wins, especially against a 500 squad, this might quiet things a little bit. But if not, the seat gets hotter and hotter and hotter after each loss. But I want to hear from you guys. Do you think Mike McDaniel's job is in immediate danger or is just an early season overreaction? Let me know. Let me know. Laura says, Buck, it's time for a little bit of Fact or Crap. It is time for that Fact or Crap, baby. But Alpha Rob says, let me play it as simple as day. Buck, it is a fact. I don't know how much more clear I need to make this. Buck, this is a fact, Jack. And Laura as well say, yo, I normally would say, slow it down, baby. I normally would say, you know what, Buck, you crazy. But Laura's like, it's his fact, baby. Get McDaniels out of town now. Guys, matter of fact, I don't understand how Mike McDaniels has a job to this day. Because when you look at Mike McDaniels year after year, game after game, matter of fact, after this show is like over, guys, I want you to go to youtube.com and look up Mike McDaniels post-game interviews. Does this not look like this guy is consistently high, consistently drunk, or just out of his ever-loving mind? Like, every time he talks, I feel high. Every time he talks, like, dude, wipe the cocaine off of your nose. Like, what is wrong with you? He is absolutely crazy. But Alpha Rob says Tua's limitations is going to get him fired. Alpha Rob, you are correct. This is probably Tua's last year in Miami. And if the Miami Dolphins are correct or not dumb, if you're going to trade, release, do whatever you're going to do with like Tua, your franchise quarterback, and you're going to draft a quarterback, don't you think you want a new coach to come in and draft that quarterback, not Mike McDaniels? Because if you don't do that, you are going to be the Chicago Bears 2.0. 2.0 and George Lucas is, it's facts, baby. It's facts. It is all facts, baby. It is all facts at the end of the day. Guys, I think we're all on the same page. Mike McDaniel should have been fired last year. He needs to be fired now. If he lasts till the end of the season, we will all be shocked. Tyreek Hill getting hurt is not an excuse. He was bad before them. Guys. Moving on to the next factor crap of the day, guys. And we're going to talk about Brian Daboll. Guys, welcome back to Factor Crap. And tonight we shift our lenses to the New York and ask the question just as spicy. Guys, Factor Crap is Brian Daboll on the hot seat. Oof. Guys, let me set the stage. It says, taking over as Giants head coach in 2022, Brian Daboll record is 19-35-1 in the regular season. In 2024, the Giants stumbled to a 13-4 record, setting a franchise record for most losses and enduring a 10-game losing streak and promoting speculations about his job security. Ownership decided to retain him and general manager Joe Schoen as well, emphasizing faith in their division. Though, with a clear warning, it better not take too long, damn it. Let's deepen that with the head-to-head performance. When the Giants are under Brian Daboll, take on teams above 500, the results haven't been kind to him. He hasn't built a reputation for rising to the challenge for those big games. Pro Football Reference shows the full coaching record where his victories come against weaker teams. It's simple as that. In contrast, in matchup against average teams or below 500, New York sometimes finds a way to hang around and kind of fans expect to watch, but they still lose. This disparity paints a one-sided fact case. If you don't survive in New York, if you lose the marquee showdowns, the media is already queuing up barbs. Guys, now you have to give credit where credit is due. Brian Daboll's first year was electric. It was the rebuild year, right? 9-7-1, playoff year, and a win in the wild card round. He was awarded Coach of the Year, and that kind of turnaround builds goodwill, especially with the struggling franchise with the New York Football Giants. His contract to stability and owner support, at least for now, give him some type of protection. When the season ended in 2024, the Giants did not immediate pivot. They backed him publicly, saying they believed in his process, but quietly we all understood the clock was ticking. And sometimes consistency, not hastiness, is the message itself. So guys, Factor Crap is Brian Daboll on the hot seat. If anybody is saying crap, what is wrong with you? This is 100% fact. Brian Daboll is on the hot seat. His failure to win big matchups, the brutal 2024, and the rise in fan/media disband all points in that direction. Do not get me wrong. I do not think he's one loss away from the door yet. He has a little bit of breathing room right now because Jackson Dart, but only if he starts beating teams over 500. If he fails to do that in the next few weeks, few months, the seat gets hotter and hotter and hotter very, very fast. But what do you guys think? Is Brian Daboll's time in New York nearing his end, or can he claw his way out of it? Personally, get him out of town. Get him out of town. You cannot use Jackson Dart as your excuse. The minute you brought in Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson, you knew he was out of town. But damn. Two ahead is going to get him fired, but no pun intended. Wes says he shouldn't even be playing with the CTE is setting in. It's true. This is back to Mike McDaniels. Alpha Rob says, crap, they're going to give him time to develop Jackson Dart. Alpha Rob, Brian Daboll was the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills when Josh Allen was drafted. Brian Daboll, quote, developed, use that term very, very loosely, air quotes, developed Josh Allen. Alfarad, let me ask you this question. Is 2021 Josh Allen better than 2025 Josh Allen? Is 2020 Josh Allen better than 2023 Josh Allen? This is a legit question. Because, personally, I think if Brian Daboll stayed in Buffalo, continued to develop Josh Allen, we would not be seeing a potential 15-2 team this season. We would not be seeing a potential a Super Bowl team this season. Josh Allen was a gunslinging fool under Brian Daboll's leadership. Since Brian Daboll has left, Josh Allen has become the best player in the NFL. Let's call a spade a spade. He's that damn good. Brian Daboll didn't do that. And he sure the hell isn't going to do that with Jackson Dart. The longer Brian Daboll stays in New York, the longer it'll take Jackson Dart to develop. The longer it takes Jackson Dart to develop, the more of a bust label is going to be put on him. Now, I know Shay's out here saying, oh, he's top 10 quarterback. I know we were on here hyping him up, whatever, but the truth be told is you play the LA Chargers. A banged up, injured LA Chargers team. The Chargers are not all that in a bag of chips. They might be all that in like a Diet Pepsi, but they're not all that in a bag of chips. They're not there yet. First game out, no film on him, yada, yada, yada. Let's see how he does in a couple weeks. Then we'll start to see. Brian Daboll should have been out last year. Should have brought in a coach, Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson, whoever you wanted. Drafted your quarterback, and then grew. We just talked about the Miami Dolphins being Chicago Bears 2.0. The New York Giants might be Chicago Bears 3.0. Laura Johnson says, fact. Get out of here. I agree, Laura. Get him out of town now. Don't wait. Pack his shit up and go now. That's what Georgia said. Back up the U-Haul. Back it up, back it up, back it up. Oh, got to go right a little bit. Yeah, back it up. Right into the house. Sorry and shit. Get him out of town. Matter of fact, we're not even going to give you a U-Haul, Brian Daboll. We're going to make you move yourself. We are going to make you hire 5 guys in a truck or whatever the hell it is. Two guys in like in a truck. Wes says yes. Dart might have saved him this season. So Wes is saying crap as well. Wes and for all like, I think you guys got too much faith in the man. I think you guys got too much faith in the man. But guys, let's go on to the next factor crap. And tonight, we got to turn our focus on the Cincinnati Bengals. And guys, this question is simple. We were asking it, guys. Is factor crap? Is Zac Taylor on the hot seat in Cincinnati? Let me start by grounding us in the record books. Zac Taylor's tenure as a Bengals head coach has been a grind. He is not a winning coach. Despite all the success, all of Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Joe Mick, Chase Brown, all those names, he is a losing coach in Cincinnati. He's 48, 54, and 1. Let that sink in. 48, 54, and 1 as the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. Now in 2024, the Bengals did finish 9-8. But they missed the playoffs for the second straight season. For a franchise that has invested heavily on his quarterback, on his receivers, that's not where expectations lie. Now let's zero in on the matchups for the matters the most. Games against teams above 500. In 2025, the Bengals right now are sitting at 2-2 in those contests. That means they're facing winning teams, and half of the time they're falling short. That's not quite great. Combine that with the playing off the field and the headline lately, the Bengals have been riddled with offensive injuries since Joe Burrow's injury. Backup Jake Browning has underperformed. Let's just be honest. The passing game has sputtered. The rushing game has sputtered. The whole team has sputtered. ESPN research noted that Cincinnati had 200 or fewer yards on offense in 3 of his first four games. That is the first team to do it since the 2009 Las Vegas Raiders. Then there was a sideline flare-up with Jamar Chase visibly confronting Taylor during a blowout loss to the Denver Broncos on Monday Night Football. That kind of optics doesn't help you when you're already under pressure. Behind the scenes, analysts are asking questions. A recent Sports Illustrated piece revisited Taylor's job security, noting how 2 stock games without Burrow have revised speculation. Guys, but let's not overreact yet. Taylor has delivered in peaks. He guided the Bengals to the Super Bowl appearance in 2022 when they went 12-4, made a deep playoff run. That success brought him equality and goodwill, at least for a while. Plus, missing the playoffs with Joe Burrow healthy in back-to-back season is worse than missing a team dealing with injuries. Critics over that make decision. So, guys, I think Zac Taylor is on the hot seat. Yes, Zac Taylor is on the hot seat. The 2-2 record to start the season, it is what it is. It goes beyond that. It goes beyond that they have not been back to the Super Bowl since 2022. It goes beyond the point that he's a losing head coach. It goes beyond the point that you cannot figure out the situation on your roster. Guys, Zac Taylor will probably be out of Cincinnati at the end of the season. This is his first time in his tenure as a coach that he has won a game in the first 2 weeks. That speaks measures. Zac Taylor is not a great coach. He is not a great coach, and he needs to be kicked out of town. Guys, that is it for today's show. We are out.
Hey, now it's time to take off. Gotta keep it live and raw. Better stay tuned in. Man, our NFL talk. I know that you ready for more. They on the field, ready for war. Who's in the lead? I'm checking the score. We about to do it like never before. NFL live, uncut, raw. This is Man Hour NFL Talk. Let's go.